So here they are. These are 2 packs that I've got. We've got the Essentials and then we've got the Tones. In the Essentials kits you get the Ice Grey 2, the Ice Grey 6, the Muted Browns or MB1, the Soft Browns MB2, a True Black and a Blender. So nice neutral colours there. Let's see if we can get you to... There we go. And in the Tones pack we have Smoky Blue or VB1, Vintage Blue VB2, Wisteria DP1, Old Lavender DP2, Pink Lace AP1 and Vintage Pink AP3. And those will certainly complement the greys. So here they are out of their packaging, and the first thing you notice is the colour. So if you've got the Spectrum Illustrator, you'll notice those are a lot lighter, but the same shape as the new ones. But as the name suggests, they are more of a graphic colour. So that's the difference in the barrels, so you will know your difference in your pens when you come to picking them. So they're the same shape as the Illustrator, and you will see, sorry if I got that upside down, I have no idea which way you can see this. You will see on the barrel you have the words graphic and Spectrum Noir, and one end is a chisel nib and the other is a bullet nib. To tell the difference, you'll note there is a slightly bigger gap here, and that's for your bullet, and the tighter seal is for your chisel. And as normal, you've got your name on both ends. There we go, don't think my camera's playing today. There we go. So the ends, so that's your bullet tip. Sorry about my camera today. There we go. And that's your chisel tip. So a nice, quite wide chisel there for a chisel shape. So what do the colours look like? Here's one I prepared earlier. So your colours are in their little groups of 2. So you've got something that you can do your tonal blends with. So that's your I2 and I6. There's your True Black, your Blender, spot it if you can, your MB1, your MB2, the AP1, AP2, those 2 go together, the VB1, VB2, and the DP1 and the DP2. And that is on WH Smith's cheap paper. So it's not a absorbent paper, and it's not a kind of glossy high weight paper. So, but all things considering, I'd say the bleed through isn't too bad. And these were written with the chisel nib, if anyone was interested. So that is your colours. So what can we get up to with them? Time to find out. Okay, so what I've done is I've done a really rough sketch of a lady in a dress, and I'm going to probably colour it in with, I'm not sure actually. Let me get the drawing down and we'll go from there. So let's see. I'm not going to concentrate too much on the figure because the dress is what we're really going to be colouring in. Okay, so I've decided to go with the DP1 and the DP2. And I'm going to start off by using the bullet side to get the outlines, and then I can use the chisel for the middle. I'm not going all the way onto the edge. And the paper I've decided to work on is a Bristol board paper. Okay, so that's my outline. Now onto the chisel. That way I can fill in much more area. Trying to stay with the continuity of the dress as well. There we go. That's our base layer down within literally seconds. Next, going to bring in the DP2 and start adding in a little bit of shadow. Back to DP1, just to blend them out. Okay, now we'll change colour as the alcohol dries. Then back to the DP2, just to get the waistband. Just using a slight feathering technique. And up onto the dress. Bulleting it in, but I can get a nice amount of detail in, as you can see there, into those little bits. And then just blending that in with the DP1. You can see that the pencil is showing, but not massively showing. But that's kind of the effect that I want, is a sketch look. I'm just going to come through with the DP1, just to pick out a few areas. Back to the DP2, just to push a few of those shadows. Holding the pen, quite upright to really use that tip, but barely applying any pressure whatsoever. This time I'm just coming through with the DP2 and I'm not toning back the colour as much as I had before on the previous layers, because I do want that tonal variation in there. So I'm going for the darks to look dark and the lights to look light. But by blending the two together, it's given me a nice mid-tone range as well. And I'm just going to bring in the VB1 and VB2 just to do that little waistband. So using the VB1, I'm going to use a chisel nib. You don't have to do a circle motion with these pens at all, it's just a very bad habit for me. I've always done it with pens, so, but it's what you're most comfortable with, but you don't need to because the amount of ink that comes out of these. And there's the VB2. So these will dry slightly different because of the alcohol. You know what? I'm going to bring in the IG6. And I'm going to add a tiny bit onto this velvet. And also into the darkest areas of shadow. Then back to the VB2, if I can find it. And then the DP2. What I'm doing is layering and concentrating on the shadows right now. So that is the basic dress. Now, if I wasn't happy, of course I can bring in the blender and say, start taking back an area. If I wanted to bring in a highlight. At the same time, if I wanted to add some detail to this dress, the blender can be used to say little dotties. And you're literally just tapping, because the more you hold down, the more of that alcohol's coming through. Now I give that a few seconds to dry. And then with the VB1, I would do the dotting motion again. Then come in for the shadow, VB2. This is the same effect that I use when I'm doing dapple horses or kind of hidden textures. That way we get a little bit of texture. And the same as if you wanted to add tiny little highlights here and there. You don't really need to put much pressure at all with the blender. It's a very strong one. I always try and follow the flow of the work and not go too against it. Now if you felt that some of those lines were way too out, so you didn't feel that the blend had gone smoothly, I would actually come through in my lightest colour, so in this case it'd be the DB1, and I would very carefully just give a general wash over of the darkest areas. by washing that over, it will blend out and reactivate. And just to show these pens are compatible with the others, which I'm absolutely sure they are, we'll bring in the Spectrum Noir Illustrator and we'll just put a little bit of the Ivy just here and there so that you can see the effect. So there we go. So I'll zoom in. So you can see, oh, come on camera. So you can see the feathering techniques here. How I've kind of layered each one down. And you've got where the blenders come in, it gives like a reflection. And then the spottiness using the blender again, just to create texture. And then in areas where you've got the shade, you can see how smooth that's gone down. And there you go, and that is using just the DP1, DP2, the VB1, VB2 and a blender. So that's only a few of the pens. Oh, and the IG6, just to show that how you can use your greys within it. So, time to see if I can find anything else to draw. Okay, for my next demonstration, I'm going to be doing all of the pens in these two sets, so we're going to use all of them, all 12, and going to do them as a Zentangle. I'm going to be using Sharpie's marker just to draw out the image, and then we'll get colouring. And I'll show you the different tonal variations you can get with these pens by mixing them and using them just straight on their own. So let's go. I'm working on Bristol board again today. Right, so just to give you an idea, so I zoom out. My apologies, didn't realise that I was missing some of the images. There we go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it's a 9-tailed fox. So to make it a little bit prettier. The nice thing about when using this Spectrum Noir pens is that you can get some really good layers of detail in. So for something like this, it doesn't matter how fine I go because I know that I can get in between the little gaps with those pens. Even with the chisel nib, I know I can. So there is our Zentangle Fox. Quick, simple, easy. Well, you guys can do it, you just got to have fun and have a go. Right, now I remember we got a True Black in here. So, Sharpies on Bristol, and we can see that when I come in with the True Black, it's pretty much perfect. So if you're doing a lot of colouring and you run out of, say you're using a Sharpies and you run out of ink on that, which does happen, the True Black on these matches absolutely fine, matches really nicely actually. So you can see that goes down really nicely. And then with the chisel nib, nice wide lines. So you can have some nice fun changing your line weight with that one. Right, so let's go for the colours we haven't seen yet. So the MB1. Oh no, I've gone outside the line, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can fix that. I'm going to bring in the blender, just hold it on there. Like magic, it's gone. With the chisel nib, because I want to cover this whole area here. Hardly takes any time at all. With these areas. It's got a really nice angle on it, so really nice control for that one. I'm going to use the MB2. Now the AP1. So you can use your chisel nib flatwards, that way, and also you can hold it so that the point is downwards. A couple of mistakes there. So come back in with the blender and just push them away. And then with the chisel nib again, following the shape round. Chisel nibs are great for following curves because the pen flows beautifully with that. Then we've got the AP3. Next I'm going to come through with the VB1. I must say the VB1 and VB2 I think are turning out to be my favourites. I mean, this VB1 make lovely, lovely holly on Christmas cards. Then VB2. Okay, so for the next bit I'm going to use the IG2. IG2. and the IG6 to create cloud effect in the background. And I'm going to use the chisel tips. This is the IG2. Bring it in. And then the IG6 for a little bit of shadow. And back to the IG2. I'm going to cover all of that now. And keep on making little sharp shapes, little C shapes to get texture build up. Really saturating the paper. Then with the blender, we're going to do the same. Especially around the edge, because I want that to soften up a lot. And we're going to go under the middle of the fonts. Well, that's just bleaching out. I'm just going to do a tiny bit under here. Once again, using all sides of the pen. And that creates a kind of stormy sky. So we'll come down to this part of the tail, and we're just going to do a little bit here. So that gives us a nine-tailed fox in the cloudy sky. So I've left a lot of areas white here, and I'm going to start picking out a few with the True Black. Just to add a little bit of colour elsewhere in the drawing. So like I say, the True Black is pretty much as dark as a Sharpie, so it really is a nice crisp clean black. You can see the fine detail I can get with that nib. So let's get a little bit of detail on the tail. Sorry, wrong way. My camera got jolted, so it was slightly out of position. There we go. Right, so with the bullet tip on a fine black, add some fine detail in here. Nice light hand, picks it up really well. Now I'm just going to take the VB2 and shade in a couple of areas. So yeah, just now using the darkest tones just to push out some of the colours and make them pop a bit more. So I'm just going to add in some final little bits of detail just with a fine line pen, just to bring the image really forward and give it that extra edge. But I'll zoom in so that you can see how the colour has layered down. So there we go. So adding in some final detail, and this is the result. One Zentangle Star Fox using the new Graphic Illustrator type pens from Spectrum Noir. Hope this has been a big help, and hope you've enjoyed and it's inspired you to pick up some pens and have a go. The colours for this group, absolutely lovely, go with pretty much everything and they complement each other beautifully. So till next time, have a lovely time, enjoy, get inspired and get creative. Happy drawing from me.